Welcome everyone to our Two Posh podcast, and I welcome my two beautiful co-hosts, my daughter Marcella.
Hello.
And my son's beautiful girlfriend Whitley.
Hi.
And Spider, who is always with us and helping us out.
I'm here most of the time.
And today we have a very special guest again that has been part of our podcast since the very beginning, and we love having her on. Valerie Wilhelm is back, and I have to say you are a phenomenon to us because every time I check what is the top 10 of our shows, your episode number 7 is always number 1. I mean, it has been...
Cry.
Was that the crying one or the laughing
I'm like
one?
super
both?
emotional right now.
So it's the one where she shares her story with her deceased husband. Like, I mean, a lot of it. This is very emotional, very deep episode, and I mean, it's flabbergasting because since the end of January, it's when we started this. There's a lot of weeks that have gone by, and
That was February 13th.
Yes.
Oh,
that's right.
It's important for her. I mean, we have 10,000 downloads now.
We have over 10,000.
Shows a lot that
Yeah.
so many people have heard your story and have been touched by it. For you to stay up, I mean, either 1 or 5. I mean, I don't think it wavered.
I don't think
from
it has
there.
ever dropped past 3.
Yeah. It's pretty incredible.
But it's most of the time 1. And every time I see it, I go, there you go.
Yeah.
I mean, it is consistently, like, you can check like how many bars from listeners and downloads it has, and yours are always full.
Yeah.
I've never not seen it full, even when it wasn't on one.
Both
It's
of them.
unbelievable.
What do we call the other one?
Wet farts.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's the best one.
Oh, wow.
The laughing on that one just kills me.
That is episode 6. Actually.
That's the funny one.
Yes.
That's the funny. Yeah.
That is
That's what I always tell
absolutely-
people is watch it or listen. 6, 7, 8, 9. But 6 is funny. I said 7, be prepared. You're going to go deep, and then you'll hear the rest
It
after
was
that.
emotional.
Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. So that I wanted to touch on first. So everyone, just keep listening to episode 7.
Definitely.
And I think what's cool about it is that so many people have reached out to you. Like even
Oh my
as
gosh.
you and I just
Even
talked,
last night,
Oh well,
I was texting.
You and I talked last week, and you sent me a message about a childhood friend of yours. That
It's basically it's weekly. As long as I'm posting and sharing and opening up more and more, I get hit again. I mean, last night I had someone message me again, and I got into I was messaging back and forth for a couple hours. I was up till 1 a.m. and
You're like a therapist.
I know.
but it's
are.
therapy for yourself, I think, a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, but I do have to get crystals and carry sometimes because I'm such an empath. I'll carry that
Other
with
people's.
me, and I have to remember to stop, and
Yeah.
because I can get really like stressed in my back. I can feel all the.
We absorb things from other people.
I can feel
Yeah.
it, so I
Yeah.
have to really step back a lot and put boundaries up on that.
Right.
Wow.
So for anyone that has not listened to Valerie's episodes, we want to always be careful to update people so they can relate, because it's going to be a new show. So Valerie was married to one of my friends, and they were in a very volatile relationship, and Valerie has 4 beautiful children, and her ex-husband, no, it wasn't ex-husband, sorry.
It's okay.
Her husband committed suicide, and it's been now how long?
3 years.
3 years, and it's obviously been a long journey, a hard journey, up and down so much. And the thing that always I see though, and I know you're going through hard times sometimes, but the thing I see the most is you have come out of this as an unbelievable strong mom. I mean, you're a single mom to 4 kids and all ages, and you
It's
have
hard.
your
That's why I'm
oldest,
so emotional right now.
and your oldest was officially diagnosed with Asperger's, and you and I talk a lot behind the scenes that no one knows, but I just recently sent you a message from this lady that posted about her son that was also a form of autism, well, everyone had told her that he would never do all these things. He would never be capable of going to school. He would never be capable of living on his own. And she is sending him to college and setting him up in his own apartment. All the things that people said he would never do.
Yeah.
And my first reaction was, I've got to send this to Valerie because I'm still so touched by your approach of parenting a child with a form of autism, because you're not allowing him to be in the box. I think this is still the thing that I learned that is touched me so much because of so many things. I mean, I think that's what people should do with all kinds of things. And I see you doing it with yourself, because losing a husband, no matter how bad the marriage was, to suicide has to be tough to go through.
I miss him a ton lately.
Really?
I actually asked that question. Remember? I said, do you think that Valerie is missing Jeff?
A lot.
That's weird that I even thought that. I really did ask you that like a week ago.
I'm hurting really bad right now.
Why?
It's not a bad hurt. It's
not that I'm like
growing.
What happened to make this happen?
Just, being out in the dating world and being real and honest with yourself and choosing to not settle, and working so hard and understanding your worth and your value and what you bring to the table. I had someone tell me one time, who I think very highly of, to learn what I'm bringing to the table and to not settle for anything less than what I think should be brought to the table for me.
Right.
So it's just, there's a lot that's been happening in I've been really listening. I kind of got off track from about May. I'd say March, May, April was a little rocky. I didn't really notice, but the whole summer I was off my growth. I was kind of stagnant, and I wasn't growing. I was being held back in a sense.
What do you attribute this to?
Just
what do you think?
Being, putting myself maybe back out there too soon, not being ready.
To dating.
And just not being able to handle.
Well, I think dating, as hard as it is.
Yeah.
I think dating with 4 children has to be super hard.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I'm so emotional, is because I guess it comes in cycles. So I'm mourning. I was so hopeful when I met someone, and then it turned out to not be what it was. So I guess I'm kind of back to the mourning of missing Jeff and what I thought that white picket fence, that want. Because
I think, go ahead, sorry.
Well, chapter 2 is soulmate. So
wait.
I'll
we have to
explain to you.
explain, though, that you are writing a book.
Yes.
And the book is called?
My 13 Years Behind My White Picket Fence.
Okay, and in that book, in chapter 2 is what?
Soulmate. Chapter 3 is soulmate, about the good times on why I had 4 kids with Jeff.
Well,
and that's the Jeff that I'm missing.
But that is, you guys had happens a lot with volatile relationships. You have a lot of highs. And you guys were very connected.
I think I've finally come to a growth period that it's not that I don't think there's anyone else for me, but there's never going to be another Jeff.
Right.
The good time, Jeff.
Well, I think too, in mourning, people think that it happens, somebody dies, and then you slowly get over it. It's the opposite. You suddenly, I can only relate with my dad, and it almost, what people don't understand is that sometimes as it continues, it almost becomes more real, and it almost hurts worse. There's some years that are like, you almost miss them worse than you did when it happened.
Yeah.
So that's only, I can attribute that to that, and I think that you start to really feel the distance. Like it almost feels like, makes my heart like even feel funny now.
Yeah. And Lucy is waking up a lot in the middle of the night, like just out of a dead sleep, feeling like someone is standing there. And I know it. They say when that happens that means a spirit or someone is there looking over you. So that, there's just a lot of godly things going on right now around us, people working in our lives that, if you're not watching and listening, you can't see the godly divine intervention of it. And I'm so connected right now because I've chosen that. And I don't know, it's just, there's just a lot of crazy
Let's just explain a little bit to our listeners so they can relate a little bit more. So after Jeff committed suicide, there was a lot of bad stuff that happened leading up to it. So with that decision that he made, it was very difficult to, I mean, you can't even grieve normally, I feel like, because you have to deal with all the other stuff that happened. Also financially, like you have to deal with ex-wife and children from another marriage. And so you're dealing with so many ups and downs. And then you grew into a single mom that was really taking care amazingly of your children and really proving everyone wrong that didn't think you could do that. And then you met someone and you started dating and you were super excited and super happy. And we don't have to get into details, but just tell us a little bit like what happened that it no longer is in the picture at this point.
There's just some differences, some belief, we're just lifestyle differences.
And so
I want things to be one way. I expect them to be this way. There are things that I'm not going to turn or change on.
Right.
Good for you, though.
Yeah,
and I just, there were some things that maybe some people wouldn't consider red flags that I considered red flags. And because of what I've been through and where I'm at, that's just something I can't have in my life,
I think red flags don't always have to be this massive. I mean, I think to some people's life, it depends on what that is for you. And
right.
what you want.
I mean, I have nothing. I mean, he's an amazing man, but he's just not the man for me right now at this point in my life.
But it's like, I'm so proud of you when I talk to you, because I'm like, that has to be so hard to really see it, because who was here recognizing it? And we had Katie here, one of Marcella's best friends, who said, when you are with someone, there are red flags. You have on rose-colored glasses.
That's what I was starting to do.
The red flags are just flags, and you are recognizing it after everything you've been through. I mean, unbelievable. You go.
Thank
really,
you.
really,
it was
really,
early
really
July, and I cried to him one day. I said, I'm so sad by this.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, because nobody wants to be alone. And when you find someone, and I think there's that light, and then you think it could be something, and then it's not, it's disappointing. I wanted to say, though, I don't think that you won't ever meet someone.
No, I don't.
I think that it just feels that way.
It feels that way.
But I think that you will, for sure.
Yeah. Marcella, that's so amazing to say right now, because that is, I feel the same way, and you will find someone at the right time.
Yeah. It's just timing.
A lot of it's timing.
Yeah.
Girl, your prince is coming.
Yeah.
And it's also the kids I started noticing it's just not right for them right now either. Lillian and Lolo were fighting nonstop. It was starting to become destructive in a way between their behavior. I mean, it wasn't like bad. It just was out of the norm, and they need me. They need me more. They need all of me right now. And there's not any part of me that can give a man anything right now.
Right. Well,
I don't know when that will change, but
I think it'll change when you least expect it.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think it'll be when you focus on yourself and the kids, and I think it'll come on its own.
And I feel like why things weren't so great for me and I was going off my rocker, I noticed I wasn't receiving blessings like I was getting before, and I wasn't growing, and I was stagnant because I was going back to that old selfishness that I said I wouldn't do when I decided to leave Jeff when he committed suicide. I decided to put the kids first. And I had does that make sense?
Yes.
I had pulled back in a way. I was thinking more about, my needs. Mama needs. Mama needs. Mama needs. I don't need, they need. I need to get them to a state where they can stand more on their own 2 feet. I mean, Lola sleeps with me every night, and I'm fine with that.
Right.
I've never allowed that. But see, that quit when I started dating him, because he was coming up and spending so much time, and we were moving forward together. So But under the eyes of God, that's not exactly right anyway with the children in the house. So I also had some guilty conscience on that. I just didn't think it was right for them.
I think you had an inner voice and you actually listened to it.
Yeah, and it sucked.
That's
It
hard.
sucked. I fought it for about 6 weeks, and then I was like, I can't do it anymore. I can't do it anymore.
Yeah.
I tried.
It's better than 6 years.
Yeah, well, that's kind of what I looked at as I thought, oh, shit, I can't. It'll be 10 years. I'll be saying it's my 50th birthday coming up, and I will have done the same shit all over again.
Good for you.
For you, really good for you.
Yeah.
So why are you so extra emotional today?
Well, a lot. I'm growing. I'm growing right now. There's a lot. I'm seeing those glasses are removed. And it's just because I'm listening and being obedient, all the blessings are coming. So it's overwhelming for me.
Is this a new spiritual relationship
This
with
is
God?
like deeper. This is
Okay.
even deeper. And everything that I've been wanting and praying for and working towards, it's all just kind of making sense around me now.
Give me some examples.
Well, the nonprofit, for example, I've thought of this for 3 years, and I've been how name. I mean, for 3 years, I dream of something and I can't come up with a name, and then I have this godly moment over the weekend, and it just like, that light bulb moment.
Yeah.
You're like, oh,
Nonprofit for what?
for self-care for women coming out of abuse. I want to create an organization. And so this is funny. So I started cleaning houses for money and scrubbing toilets. And I ended up trading my CrossFit gym membership for, I told him I'd clean if so I was like, so it's working out. And then I got this other gig with this lady through a contractor, and I wound up on the set of an HGTV show cleaning when they finish, and it airs in January. And I was like, this is so, like, I just was loving it. I was like, this is exactly, like, it started empowering me in August, and that's when I was like, became single again, and I was like, I can't believe I'm scrubbing floors, because back when I was married to Jeff, like, that was a joke. He's like, you would never be humble enough to scrub a toilet. And now I'm like, I want to scrub toilets. I want my own business.
Yeah.
Like, here's the thing, for years I'm like, I have all these great ideas, but I never can get it all to sit in one place. I'm like, people are like, you should have a party planning business. You should have an organizing business. You should this, you should do that.
Yeah.
And you should life coach. You should be a counselor. All that. I'm just like, how do I do all of it?
Right.
Well, I had someone tell me something along the lines of, one chases 3 bunnies, they catch none. One chases 1, they catch it. And I was like, well, I couldn't waltz in ballet class, but I could do all the hard stuff. I was like, I'm catching all those bunnies and putting them all in my hat. I'm going to build an empire. I will do this. I'll connect all the dots somehow. So anyway, finally, about 10 years ago, a dear friend of mine, she said, you should do it. You should have an organizational business and bless this mess. Should be the name of it.
That's cool.
And I was
love that.
I would never clean people's houses. Why would I do that? That's so, I'm too good for that. And then when I started doing it, I was like on the floor with a bucket with the hot rag, and I was like, I am Cinderella. Like, it just like all started. I was like, this is so cool. Like, they had no idea my story. I'm the one on the floor cleaning, and they're all, I'm just like, like, it was so funny from down here for me to see it on the tables flipped. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It completely flipped, but it was so beautiful. And I was like, okay, so I'll get some business cards. I'm going to gutter your clutter. I'm going to connect this to Sajon.
Man, these words,
I'm going to connect it to Sajon. So I'm going to come to your house. I'm going to tell you my feed to organize and to deep clean. And I'll have a handful of clients at a time, because I don't really want to do bi-weekly. It's not that. I want to be your organizational consultant. And then I can gutter your clutter. I can give you a tax write-off, put this stuff in storage, and then go to churches and have annual garage sales to make the money for the nonprofit.
God.
She wears the heels. ha ha, because we talked about the high heels. Like, we will never compromise our heels.
No.
Women healing themselves. And I'll provide money for haircuts and nails and eyelashes and your kids' activities.
You embracing the hustle. That's awesome.
God did it. That's what he did.
Goosebumps,
Because I put myself to the side once again, and I said, I will be obedient. What is it that you're calling me for?
Wow.
That's so cool.
Valerie.
Yeah. So here I am.
Wilhelm.
So that's what I'm up to. That's what I'm up to.
Bless the mess.
Bless This Mess will be the organizational side of it, and I would love to just empire it. Like, I watched Jeff build a business.
You need to make sure before this airs, you have the
I'm
name.
working with my lawyer. I need to get it all done. So I need
have
that
to get
time.
this name.
Yeah.
Don't
I
worry.
love that. I mean, it's nowhere. Nobody has that. Shut up. That is
No.
so cool.
And it came from here. I thought about it because I saw someone post, and the sister.
I would need you to organize my shit.
Do you know how funny God is? God is so funny,
God
y'all.
definitely has a humor. Yeah.
Man, he is a trip, right? So the sister of the girl that gave me the idea for Bless This Mess, it was the lesbian wedding. This is God. This is why you listen, because it's all paved and planned out. I mean, the dots are there.
Yeah.
I just connected them because I listened. She posted, "Fear a woman," or something. I can't find my phone right now. I'm not going to waste time. "Fear a woman who can run in heels," or something.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's the damn truth.
Yeah.
Like, for real. And then I was going to CrossFit, and I was like, that's it. She wears the heels. Like, and then I saw something about healing thyself, and I was like, women healing themselves. That's it, Valerie.
Yeah.
Healing. It's all connected. Cassie from the lesbian wedding posted it. The sister is my CrossFit coach's wife. 10 years ago, said, "Do bless this mess." Like, it's all.
And you remembered
Yeah.
that too, though. That's
I'll never
pretty
forget.
crazy.
Yeah.
God bless us.
Wow.
It's awesome. I like that
is
it's
cool.
healing themselves, because that's one of the things I thought when I was deep in the shit. It's like,
Yeah.
I don't want anyone to save me. I want people to be around while I'm saving myself.
Right.
So great.
Right. And it's all that's, I was getting ready for a garage sale the night
That
Jeff-
you do all the time. Like,
Right.
you're so good at that.
Yeah.
And that's what I love them. I always have.
Which is
such a
amazing.
dork. Like, I'm such
I
a
love
dork. Like, I want to be a grocery stacker when I grow up. That was my dream, right? I wanted to work at Albertsons and stack groceries. I was so ambitious. What the hell? That was the weirdest thing ever. Until my finger got caught in the rolling pin, then I was
Ooh.
like, yeah, I'm done. I don't want to stack groceries anymore. But anyway, so check this out. So I was getting ready to have a garage sale that night that Jeff choked me. I was
Right.
set up for a garage
I
sale.
remember that.
Because we went out to get the duct tape.
Right.
So this crazy thing, I just had the garage sale this past weekend, and all of this really started, finally all the pieces, the final ones came in. And when I looked down to close up the garage sale, there was a roll of duct tape, and I was packing up some books, and the last book I packed, on the top it said splitting with the heirs.
With the duct tape?
Next to, splitting up the money with the heirs was like the name of the book. Yeah.
That's weird.
With the duct tape next to it, and I was like, I know. I hear you. I'll do it.
That's so awesome, though. And then you're taking the steps to do it, and you're writing your book.
Yeah. And then I met the last two people that showed up at my garage sale. They actually help foster kids out of abuse. So I exchanged numbers with them. Like,
Wow.
right? Like, go figure.
I'm glad you're doing that, because I'm dating someone new, and
He's awesome. I'll say.
he's awesome.
Everybody says
bless that. But his mom had seen my Me Too post about Andy, I think, and then had asked him about it, and then he was kind of asking me questions about it, about abuse this morning. And it's weird that you're here today, because he kept asking me, and he's like, I don't understand. Like, why did you stay? Like, I don't get it. I would never. I'm like, I know it. Like, I don't know how to explain to you.
We become
why.
obedient to them. They become our gods.
Yeah. But you still wonder why. And then a girl actually, I don't know, from the show, and I've gotten a lot of following from that, wrote me and said, I just listened to your podcast about abuse. I was in an abusive relationship, and I was like, I feel, and I thought of you this morning the whole time, because I was like, I think, because you had a hard time understanding until the podcast, I feel.
Yes.
And I don't know how you feel, but I think that we've always talked about like everything happens for a reason, and helping other women and helping people understand. I don't know how to explain that enough. And I think it's so great what you're doing that'll help other women and heal them, and so that they don't get into another one. And I'm so glad that you haven't gotten into another one, or because it's kind of a cycle. They get into your head, and it's
the
really
manipulation.
hard.
You guys are predisposed for it once you have been in them. Like it is very, it's easy because there's something that makes it like the manipulation. You don't recognize it. It's not a fault. It just is. You don't recognize it. You see it as love or attention or caring or whatever it is, and then it can spiral so fast.
And it's so hard for people to understand.
So I want to raise awareness for that with She Wears the Heels, and I want to have a fun walk, run if you want to, I don't care, but everyone comes in heels.
I will be there.
And you register, and that money goes to help the women, with to reboost their self-esteem. But that particular fun walk, fun run would be, it may be at different checkpoints. There's information on red flags to look at. Like
I love this.
Like maybe you'll have to get that flag to get to the end of the course or something. Kind of make it fun, scavenger, but
I want to be
it's not
involved.
just boring. Like you're just walking.
We are so there. So just tell us what we have to do.
And if they don't want to wear the heels, at least just carry them in your hand. But
I'm wearing high heels.
Me too.
Even Spider.
I'm ready.
I want the guys to wear them
like
too.
drag.
I'd be ugly, but I don't care.
I think any supportive man who thinks that that's not okay would do it. Honestly. Or carry them at least.
I'd at least try to walk. Just to try it.
Just try it.
So anyway,
think it's amazing.
So that's what happened. That's what God did the last 2 months in my life, because I set myself to the side once again, and
that's so crazy.
I
know.
So now I'm baby stepping towards it. Like I've done so much research, so many notes for my book. Now I'm every day, like just right before I came here, I was like, why are you writing the book, Valerie? And I'll write it on an index. Like when things come, I put it on an index card and I tape it to the back of my door. Before I know it, it's going to be all the way around my room.
I love it.
Then I can take that and go, okay, I want this index into this chapter. Okay, that index goes in this chapter. That index
that's
goes.
a great way to do it.
Yeah,
And it's not even gonna, like, I may like I'm gonna go pull some social media posts that I've made, but I'm not gonna sit and write it cover to cover. I'll be like, okay, well here I'm putting these pictures in, or I'm putting these text messages or these emails in here. I'm not going to really make it like a novel front cover to cover. It's not going to be like
hard to immerse yourself like that.
It's too much. I've already tried, and it wasn't. I was spinning my wheels, so I was like, abstract this, Valerie.
But I think it's just so good, because I think you just sometimes don't even know the people that are going through it. It's not who you would think, and then you don't even know some people who have been through it, and it's like, and it's so much. I can't even believe it. Honestly.
It's crazy. It's insane. Someone just messaged me. I just read it this morning. Their sister was killed.
I saw that.
This whole time I had no idea. This friend I'm friends with on Facebook. And
but what about the girl from who owns the anger room?
Oh my God.
The owner of the anger room
that?
got killed by her ex-boyfriend. I actually have it here. I was going to talk about it. She kicked out her boyfriend before he broke into her home, killed her. She had been trying to get out of a toxic relationship with her boyfriend, who then broke into her home and beat her, leaving her with fatal injuries.
Beat her so bad he killed her.
She was living life to the fullest. Her big smile and heart brought joy into people's lives. She learned to sew so she could make prom dresses for girls who didn't have the money to buy one. She wanted to sew into someone's life, said her sister. 2 weeks before she died, she posted a message on Instagram encouraging others. I just want to put it out there that you guys have a little bit of encouragement and motivation. I just want you to know that you should go ahead and walk in your faith and walk in your destiny. Stay encouraged and stay motivated. Do whatever you need to do to keep positivity and joy in your life right now. That is what she posted. And then she started a business in Deep Elm called the Anger Room, where people paid to break things to get rid of their
And he was there with her.
Yep.
He was there along with her while she was doing that.
A domestic violence
And
advocate.
she had kid, right?
She had children, yes. She hoped it would keep people from hurting each other. Even if she was having a bad day, she had a smile on her face.
I mean, what are the chances that?
But behind the smiles and success, there was pain. Her family said she was caught in a toxic relationship with Nathaniel Mitchell and wrote about him in her journals. She was praying for God to fix him. Mitchell broke into her home, beat her, leaving her with fatal wounds. She was pronounced dead 3 days later. She had kicked him out and was trying to get away from him. Don't let your children die in pain in another person's hand, said Alexander's said his mother. Don't let them die in pain like that. The family said they didn't know she was being abused until it was too late. The bubbly mother of two died from the very thing she stood up against. Her family said she was an organ donor, which helped save 7 women's lives.
Wow.
1 woman got her heart. Her family is hoping to fly her body to Chicago, where she'll be buried. That is tough, man.
Yeah. And it's sad.
Yeah. Yeah. I wonder, that's why I'm back single again. Because those rosy glasses, what was she denying? What was she missing?
Right.
Why was she? I just think time. I need more time.
I think that's good for you. You've been through a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I actually really love being alone. Maybe too much. That's the thing. It's maybe too much.
No, it's good for you right now.
Yeah.
And it's just not the right person, because I think once the right person comes into your life, it's different.
Yeah.
It's not the right one. Timing, I think your kids need you, and they've been through a lot too. I mean, even though they're so young, they have to feel the effects.
Yeah.
You know, of that. And Lucy, you know.
Yeah, I'm worried about her a lot right now.
Are you?
Yeah.
Why?
She had an octopus dream, and the octopus was chasing her, and that means you're running from something in your life. You're burying it and pushing it deep, deep, deep down. When you read about animal dreams, anytime you're dreaming about an animal, read about it and read specifically what the animal was doing in your dream with you.
Now, Lucy is your second oldest.
Yeah, she's the one that saved me.
She's the one that saved you, but that is also kind of her personality anyways. I feel like right after, I mean, even going through it all, like she never would talk about it.
Yeah.
And
do you guys talk about Jeff?
Yeah, and she smiles and grins a lot. She loves when she's starting, I've noticed more to respond and smile and grin when I tell her the good things.
Yeah.
She actually sat outside the other night and sat and visited with me and my friend for a good hour. I was surprised, and that's when she told me about the dream. And I mean, she'll open up and talk, but she does push, and she doesn't like to touch. You're not allowed to hug her. I'm like, okay.
Air hug.
Weird air hug. Yeah, but she doesn't remember a lot.
No.
From her childhood before Jeff passed away. Yeah, and so in the beginning of my book, actually right before I came, this is funny because I was kind of freshening up and I was like, why are you writing the book? And I was answering some questions on my index card for that question. And one is because I'm unblocking. I'm rehashing it all, and I'm remembering and I'm finding the behavior, and then I can better move forward myself to not repeat those behaviors, because that's what I noticed while I was dating. Things were happening that were triggering me and freaking me out, and I was panicking over ridiculous stuff, you know, like why is he not texting? Know, just like I was starting to like create some of my own drama.
Yeah, right.
that didn't even need to be there. So,
Right.
But it's amazing that you recognized it, because
That
a lot
is
of people
most
start to
amazing.
spiral and then get
Yeah.
sucked in this thing, and a lot of times you don't stop and think for a second, like, what?
Yeah.
Wait, hold on, like, I don't want that drama. I don't want to invite that drama.
Yeah.
And for your kids.
yeah, I was flipping out a lot. I was having flip outs and
Yeah.
freak outs. I
Did
was
you?
like, why am I flipping out again? I'm
Yeah.
freaking out. I'm screaming. I'm yelling. I'm.
You know, I just we just did a recap show of Dancing Queen, the
Yeah.
show with Alyssa Edwards.
I've got to get on the first episode.
But what there's something that I want to tell you, which I thought was so profound by Justin, what he said, because he said that there was a situation where he flipped out, cussed someone out, got super mad, and then he said it took him back to a really dark place that he had thought he had come already had worked way ahead, and he said, I made a mistake. Those things I should have put in my journal. Like, so he is journaling, which I'm like, wow, like the anger and all these bad thoughts, like you should put in a journal and not put onto other people.
Yeah, because he was like,
So amazing.
he's like, I meant all of it. It just was the wrong place to do it.
Yeah.
I mean,
like I was
that's
becoming
so great.
resentful again. I was getting angry again. I was getting pitiful again. I was just all those dark emotions.
Puts you back in a dark place.
And I was going back, like I was feeling suffocated in my chest.
It's the worst.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
Like suffocation.
Yeah. I don't like that feeling.
I can't
I'll
stand
run
it.
from that fast.
Yeah, that's when I initially ran. I was like, I'm done. I can't breathe. I can't breathe. I'm done here. This is not working.
That's good.
Yeah. I was like, I have to change something right now. Yeah.
Good for you.
Yeah. But the devil will send people into your life.
I talk about that all the time.
So, you know, I think the devil sent that old lady, if y'all read my post the other day. I think that was the devil.
garage sale?
And you know, right, I should have.
Okay, you need
wrote
to
this.
explain the story.
I don't know.
though.
Yeah.
Oh, you don't
this.
know?
I don't
Okay.
know this.
Well, so it's since Jeff passed away, you know, I was ready for that garage sale when he tried to choke me. I ended up having it anyway, but we kept having rainstorms the beginning of that summer. So I had like 4 in a row. So the homeowners and everyone in the neighborhood thought I was trying to run a business out of my house, and nobody knew what was going on, right? And but one of the neighbors up the street, apparently, I just found out this past summer, had told me that they had tried to create a GoFundMe account and do a meal train for a month through the neighborhood. But one of the homeowners association members said, no, we don't do that, or we won't do that for them, or something like that.
God, that's so mean.
Yeah. Well, apparently the lady that I heard said it used to love Jeff, and I used to watch him out my window. She's an older lady, but Jeff used to sit down there and drink all the time, and she never bothered him. But if anybody else was ever drinking, she bothered them. So it was kind of funny. I feel like it was kind of a whole little thing sent from the devil, right? Well, anyway, so every time when the summer Jeff died, all my signs, they kept taking all my signs down. And
Garage sale signs? Okay.
So I knew the president had them in the back of his truck, and he was throwing them, rolling them up like I'm a spy.
That's what they did to us with Prestige when we put signs out in Addison, and the city of Addison kept collecting our signs. I used to be so mad. I'm like, well, why would you support us?
Yeah.
Like, that's so rude.
Yeah, come talk to me. And so then I noticed, I learned all the, because I wanted, like I stated at the beginning, I knew, so Jonque I thought was what I wanted.
What is Sajonque?
So Jonque is his junk in French, because I love, ballet. So I was like, when that period while Jeff was on the run, I wanted to Sajonque his ass, sell all of his shit. I was so pissed.
Yeah.
So I was like, his junk. Well, anyway, so I really wanted to kind of build a business, but I didn't want to run a garage sale every weekend out of my house. That's not what I wanted to do. It just, the city kept saying, well, it rained, you can have it again. So I was like, oh, great.
Yeah.
But it kept raining on my parade. Well, then I learned that I could have 2 a year. And I was like, okay, and that's where the nonprofit, but I never could figure out all these last couple of years how to make it where I am now today on my thinking. So I was like, fine, well, we'll just have the garage sales. We'll donate what we can when we can. And people just started giving me stuff all the time. And it was a way that I could make extra money for me and the kids. So every time, though, the same old lady would come to my garage sale and walk up the driveway and be like, oh, God, here she comes again. Well, all these years, I've never been bold enough or understood it enough until this time. The same thing. Hi, how's your garage sale going? I'm like, oh, it's good. Thanks. She's like, do you have them often? I mean, she says the same damn thing every single time. I'm like, yes, I do. The city allows you to have 2 a year. How about that? Here's my permit right here. I mean, I taped that permit on the wall just for her because I knew she was coming. And then all of a sudden she says, well, I tried to have one and I just didn't do so well. And I was like, I bet you did. And then all of a sudden she goes over and grabs a Bible that one of my dear friends had given me, and all those books with that one book about splitting the heirs that I didn't even know was in there. She's over there flipping through the Bible going, so do you go to church?
What?
I swear to God. I didn't put that part in the post, which I'm stupid. I totally should have. That's like the good part, right? Because now I look back and I was like, what a devil.
Yeah.
What a dirty little devil holding the Bible saying that. Like, it's really weird, you know?
Yeah.
Then she made the comment that, she just didn't do so well in her garage sale. So don't forget that part. She turns around and she sees some golf clubs and she goes, which I found these in the trash. She goes, are you selling your husband's golf clubs?
Oh, weird.
And I said, he passed away. She goes, oh my, I'm so sorry. She goes, and then that's when she said, do you have to get a permit for your garage sales? And I thought, that's when I said, here's my permit. Do you see? But I thought, if you had a garage sale,
you would have known.
You would know this information. So that's when I stood up and I said, I'm sick and tired of the homeowners association sending one of you up here to my house and finding out. I'm sick of all my signs disappearing. I'm sick and tired. The homeowners association has filed a lawsuit against me for not paying when I gave you all the information up front that I was in probate court and that y'all could file in probate court. And I'm sick and tired of, what else did I say? There was something else. Oh, I just went blank. But anyway, she just said she didn't know anything about it and turned around and walked away. But you know what? This is the first garage sale since Jeff passed away that when I went to collect my signs, every damn sign was there.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so they didn't take my signs this time. And that was it by noon. Yeah, they got the message. Their little garage police went back and said, that lady is pissed.
Good.
Yeah. I
Stand
stood
up for yourself.
Yeah, I totally stood up for myself. But the whole time, there was an observer. Okay, God sent an angel.
Part I like.
God sent an angel. As soon as she walked away, I looked up and I was embarrassed because I had seen the other lady walk up and I said, oh, I'm so sorry you had to hear all that. But, and I even told the old lady before she walked away, and I said, and I know that y'all kept me from having a meal train from the neighborhood.
Good for
when
you.
my husband passed away, you kept food for my children. Anyway, so then this lady, I said, I'm so sorry to the observer lady. And she said, it's okay. No worries. I just work across the street. I'm just on lunch break. And she bought some shorts for $3 and she went on her way. Well, about 4 hours later, I'm sitting out there because I run an 8 to 5 garage sale, y'all. I mean, it is busy. When people get off work, you're like, whoa, we're getting slammed at 4. Anyway, so she comes walking up around 4 o'clock, and she handed me a wad of money. And she said, after I left here, I listened in the Lord. I was compelled by your story, which I didn't even tell her the story.
Right.
Yeah.
All she knew is my husband passed away and the situation, like she knew nothing, to be honest.
Right.
And she said, I listened to the Lord and he told me to bring you this. And then we sat and talked for an hour, and her mother is fighting probate court from her late husband's family coming after her, and she's 80.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, and her son is an addict and her ex-husband was an addict.
Wow.
Crazy.
Yeah. So now we're
Crazy
going to keep
stories.
in touch and have coffee and lunch.
Oh, that's sweet.
I love that.
Yeah, so that's the story.
So, but all in all, just for this first hour with you, you are on, and I love the path that you're on. You're concentrating on creating an empire, because I think this is going to be amazing for you. You are the perfect person to do this. You're going to have so many people. You're going to have to hire people, because it's going to be
plan.
unbelievable.
Yeah.
So
That's the plan.
congratulations on that.
Congratulations.
That
Yeah.
note, we're going to
get
end
there.
this show, and we're going to come back with a lot more of Valerie.
Yes.